CBS Young and the Restless Spoilers. Claire Newman's carefully built world of trust and love with Kyle Abbott has been shattered beyond repair, and the consequences of their fractured relationship promise to shake the foundations of Genoa City. What began as a seemingly innocent kiss between Kyle and Audra Charles has now evolved into a storm of betrayal, revenge, and secrets that will inevitably tear apart the relationships between some of the most powerful families in the city. Claire, ever the composed and intelligent woman, has always been someone who values honesty and loyalty above all else. Her relationship with Kyle had been a cornerstone of her life, and she believed, despite his past mistakes, that they had moved past their issues. However, when she uncovers the truth about the kiss between Kyle and Audra, everything she thought she knew about their love is turned upside down. The betrayal is too much for Claire to bear, and her trust in Kyle crumbles in an instant. This is no longer just about a kiss, it's about the lies Kyle has told her and the deeper betrayal that runs through their relationship like a poison. Claire has always believed that love should be built on mutual respect and understanding, but now, she realizes that with Kyle, those values were nothing more than a facade. Fueled by anger, hurt, and a sense of betrayal, Claire's desire for vengeance takes root. She isn't just going to let this slide, she's going to make sure that Kyle and Audra face the consequences of their actions. But Claire isn't one to make rash decisions. She's a woman of strategy, and when she sets her sights on something, she ensures she has the right tools at her disposal. This is where Jordan enters the picture, unexpectedly and with a vengeance of her own. Thought to be dead, Jordan's return to Genoa City sends shockwaves through everyone who believed her demise was certain. But Jordan is alive, and she's more than ready to assist Claire in executing her plan. Jordan's return is not just a surprise, it's a revelation. Her connection to Claire runs deeper than anyone could have expected. In the past, their relationship was one of mutual understanding and shared goals, and now, with Claire's thirst for revenge boiling over, Jordan has resurfaced with the perfect opportunity to act. The history between Claire and Jordan is one of unspoken loyalty and shared ambition. Together, they have the power to take down their enemies in a way that will leave no room for escape. Claire's feelings of betrayal from Kyle and Audra are intense, but Jordan's assistance in the matter will only escalate the stakes. This unexpected alliance could be the key to Claire's success, or her undoing. The connection between Claire and Jordan, combined with their shared objective to get rid of Audra, sets the stage for a thrilling and high-stakes plot of revenge. But even as Claire takes control of her destiny, the emotional turmoil she's experiencing threatens to cloud her judgment. Revenge may feel sweet in the moment, but the aftermath could be far more damaging than she anticipates. Can Claire truly separate her desire for retribution from her need for emotional closure, or will the lines blur, leading to a destructive path that she cannot undo? As Claire's plot begins to unfold, she is confronted with difficult decisions about her future and her relationship with Kyle. For all his faults, Kyle is still the man she thought she loved. But can love survive a betrayal this deep? Claire's mind is at war, torn between her desire for justice and the remnants of the love she once shared with Kyle. The tension between these two opposing forces will push Claire to the brink, forcing her to confront not just her anger at Kyle, but her fear that she might never be able to move on from the betrayal. And what of Kyle? Does he truly understand the magnitude of his actions, or is he too consumed by his own guilt and fear of losing Claire to make amends? While Claire plans her revenge, Kyle is left to grapple with the fallout of his actions. His relationship with Claire has always been a fragile one, built on both love and mistrust. But now, with Claire's anger consuming her, Kyle is faced with the terrifying reality that his mistakes may cost him everything. As the consequences of his betrayal ripple through their lives, Kyle is left wondering if he can ever truly redeem himself in Claire's eyes. His desperation to fix things could lead to even more mistakes, and his attempts to regain Claire's trust might be too little, too late. But the drama doesn't end with Claire and Kyle. As the wheels of revenge turn, Kane Ashby is also plotting his next move. Kane, always a man of ambition, has been quietly maneuvering within the corporate world of Genoa City. His connections with Victor Newman, a man known for his ruthless business tactics, give him a significant advantage. Kane's alliance with Victor may be unconventional, but it serves his purposes as he works to establish his own empire. However, the delicate balance of power between these two ruthless men is fraught with danger. While Kane may believe that he's in control, Victor is a master at playing the long game, and Kane could soon find himself out of his depth. The potential for betrayal and shifting alliances looms large, as Kane must navigate the treacherous waters of power and influence while trying to maintain his position. Victor, ever the mastermind, has been manipulating the situation from behind the scenes, using Kane as a pawn in his own strategic moves. While Kane sees himself as a partner in Victor's plan, Victor is more interested in controlling the narrative and ensuring that his own interests are prioritized. The tension between the two men will reach a boiling point as their mutual ambitions clash. Kane may think he's playing the game, but Victor is always several steps ahead, and Kane's alliance with him could quickly turn from an asset to a liability. The story of Kane and Victor's partnership is one of uneasy alliances and shifting power dynamics, and it's clear that this volatile relationship will lead to explosive consequences. As the drama unfolds, the stakes are higher than ever for Claire, Kyle, Kane, and everyone in Genoa City. The consequences of Claire's revenge, Kyle's betrayal, and Kane's power struggle will reverberate throughout the city, shaking the very foundations of the Abbott, Newman, and Ashby families. As secrets are exposed and alliances are tested, the fallout will be felt by all, and no one is safe from the consequences of their actions. In the end, Claire's quest for revenge will come to a head, forcing her to confront not just the people who betrayed her, but her own emotions and desires. Will she be able to achieve the closure she seeks, or will the path of vengeance lead her to a place she never expected? For Kyle, the road to redemption may be even more difficult than he anticipates, and his attempts to rebuild his relationship with Claire could end in failure. Kane, meanwhile, must confront the realities of his alliance with Victor, as his ambition begins to clash with the power dynamics of the Newman family. The dramatic twists and turns in these storylines promise to keep fans on the edge of their seats, eagerly awaiting what comes next in this high-stakes saga of betrayal, revenge, and love. The events surrounding the ill-fated trip to France continue to haunt the lives of Kyle Abbott, Claire Newman, and Audra Charles in The Young and the Restless. What initially seemed like a simple mystery surrounding the death of Damien quickly escalates into a web of manipulation, lies, and emotional turmoil, as the truth about Kyle's actions on that fateful train journey is slowly uncovered. The real tragedy, however, isn't just in the mystery itself, it's the heartbreaking betrayal Kyle inflicted on Claire, a betrayal that will have far-reaching consequences for everyone involved. Victor Newman, ever the puppet master, engineered a sinister plan to manipulate his own family, using his granddaughter Claire as a pawn in his schemes. The cunning patriarch, known for his endless ambition and ruthless tactics, decided that the best way to protect Claire was to have Kyle's affections for her torn apart. What better way to do that than by hiring Audra to seduce Kyle and drive a wedge between the couple? Victor's logic is cold and calculating, treating emotions and relationships as nothing more than tools to be controlled. If he can break Claire and Kyle apart, Victor believes he will have achieved a victory that not only secures his family's legacy but also maintains the power dynamic that he so desperately craves. It's a classic move for Victor, and one that highlights his morally ambiguous nature. He's willing to sacrifice anything, even family bonds, to get what he wants. Audra, ever the skilled manipulator, walks into the situation with her own motives. She's been given a job to seduce Kyle, destroy his relationship with Claire, and do it under the guise of being a sympathetic ear in the wake of Damien's death. It's a job that should have been purely transactional, but as she gets closer to Kyle, things begin to take a more personal turn. When Audra shows up at Kyle's door under the pretense of looking for her phone charger, it's clear that there's more than just business at play. The emotional tension between them builds, with Audra playing her part expertly, using the tragedy of Damien's death to draw Kyle in. But Kyle, while initially hesitant, begins to lose himself in the moment, his defenses weakening under the weight of the situation. And that's when it happens, the kiss. In a moment of weakness, Kyle kisses Audra back. The moment is more than just a simple slip, it's a devastating lapse in judgment that sends shockwaves through his relationship with Claire. Kyle's internal struggle is evident, and though he stops himself from going further, the damage has already been done. He knows he's made a mistake, but the guilt that gnaws at him isn't enough to erase the act. This kiss, born out of manipulation and confusion, becomes the catalyst for the unraveling of Kyle's relationship with Claire, a relationship that had seemed solid just moments before. The emotional fallout from this moment will change the course of their lives forever, and Kyle's failure to control his impulses becomes the key to his undoing. When Kyle returns from France, he is filled with guilt and the weight of what he's done. His conscience finally catches up with him, and he decides that the best course of action is to confess to Claire. He believes that by revealing Victor's role in orchestrating the scheme to separate them, he will earn back some semblance of trust. But Kyle's confession is far from complete. While he openly admits to Claire that Audra was hired by Victor to manipulate him, he conveniently omits one crucial detail: he kissed Audra back. Kyle's half-hearted confession reveals more about his internal conflict than the actual truth. He knows that what he did to Claire is unforgivable, but by leaving out the kiss, he attempts to protect himself from the full consequences of his actions. He believes that by acknowledging Victor's role, he can shift some of the blame away from himself, but this omission is a telling sign of his fear of fully confronting his own wrongdoing. It's a move that will only deepen Claire's distrust and push her further away from him. Kyle's failure to fully own his actions, to be completely honest with Claire, shows just how much he's still running from the reality of his mistakes. For Claire, the revelation that Kyle wasn't fully truthful with her is a devastating blow. She already had her suspicions, but hearing Kyle's partial confession only reinforces her fear that she can never truly trust him. The emotional damage caused by his betrayal goes beyond the kiss, it's in the way he attempted to manipulate the truth, even when he was confessing. Claire's sense of betrayal grows, and the bond that once held her and Kyle together begins to fracture. What was once a relationship built on love and trust is now a crumbling facade, and Claire must decide whether to continue investing in a relationship with someone who has proven himself to be so deceitful. But what of Audra? What role will she play in the aftermath of Kyle's confession and the fallout with Claire? Audra, for her part, is not a passive character in this drama. She's been playing her own game, one that could have serious repercussions for her relationship with Kyle and her standing in Genoa City. She may have been hired to manipulate Kyle, but her feelings toward him are becoming more complicated as time goes on. The line between professional obligation and personal emotion is blurring for Audra, and this could be the tipping point for her character. Will she continue to play the role of the seductress, or will her feelings for Kyle lead her down a more dangerous path? For now, the consequences of Kyle's actions are unfolding rapidly. His relationship with Claire hangs in the balance, and the emotional damage done is irreversible. The trust that once held them together has been shattered, and Claire's decision on whether or not to forgive Kyle will shape the future of their relationship. Kyle's guilt will weigh heavily on him, but his inability to come clean about everything will continue to haunt him as he faces the consequences of his betrayal. The drama surrounding Kyle, Claire, and Audra is far from over. The web of lies, manipulations, and emotional conflicts continues to grow, and each character must navigate their own choices and consequences. For Kyle, the road to redemption is long and fraught with difficulty, and whether or not he can rebuild the trust he's lost remains to be seen. For Claire, the path forward is unclear. Will she be able to forgive Kyle and move forward, or will the betrayal be too great to overcome? The fallout from this kiss is just the beginning, and the emotional aftermath promises to be even more explosive as secrets continue to be revealed.